Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Felipe Kerstin and I am going to present the domain transform for spherical geometry images, a filter designed for smoothing triangle meshes represented as spherical geometry images and at the same time preserving the mesh's important curvatures. I will first describe how the filter works and end by showing some results. This work was done by me and Eduardo Gastal. We present a new filter capable of smoothing polygonal meshes like the one shown here. Our filter has two main goals. One is the ability to remove noise from corrupted meshes, and the other is the maintenance of the important curvatures of the original mesh. As an example, you can see to the right what happens if the noisy mesh is filtered without considering its curvature. The noise is removed, but some curvature information is lost. In contrast, we show in the middle the result obtained from our filter, considering the original mesh curvature. How is a triangle mesh filtered by our filter? The first step is to convert the mesh to a geometry image. We will describe what geometry images are in more detail later, but for now, it is enough to know that they are images capable of representing a mesh. You can see here how a geometry image looks like. The second step is to filter the geometry image. This is done by our filter. The result of this step is another geometry image. The resulting geometry image can then be decoded as a triangle mesh for rendering. As shown in the last slide, our filter filters geometry images. So how exactly is this done? The geometry image should be smoothed, but at the same time, the mesh curvatures should be kept. Therefore, we can't simply apply a common smoothing filter to the image, since we need to account for these curvatures. There are some filters in the literature that are capable of smoothing images while keeping its important edges. One of these is the domain transform filter. As an example, consider this image. To the right, we show the result of a simple smoothing filter. In the middle, we show the result provided by the domain transform filter. You can see that the important edges are kept. The main contribution of our filter is to adapt the domain transform filter for geometry images. Note that in our case, we don't want to preserve the edges of the image. Instead, we want to preserve the curvature of the original mesh, which is represented by that image. Before continuing, let's take a deeper look at the domain transform filter. As already said, the domain transform filter is a filter capable of smoothing images while keeping its important edges. The main idea of the filter is that pixels with two different colors should not be mixed. For that, a transform called domain transform is used. Let's show an example of this transform. Imagine that the graph A represents one line of an image, where the vertical axis represents the color of the pixel. The first step is to obtain the domain transformation, represented by graph B, which is generated by summing the absolute color differences of each pixel with all its predecessors. The third step is to perform the domain transformation. The original signal is represented on the new domain obtained in graph B. This signal is shown in graph C. Then, we apply an efficient linear time smoothing filter to the signal, obtaining graph D. And finally, we plot the just obtained signal in its original domain, which is shown in graph E. By comparing graph E with graph A, you can see that the noise was removed, but the important edges were kept. This is a discrete equation used to obtain the local domain transform of each pixel. The domain transform filter can be implemented as a recursive filter, as shown in this equation. For more details about the domain transform, please refer to its original paper. We continue by presenting the geometry images in more detail. As said before, geometry images are images that represent polygonal meshes. Here is an example of a geometry image and the mesh it is representing. Each pixel of the image corresponds to a vertex of the parametrized mesh. The XYZ position of each vertex is stored as the RGB color of each pixel. Finally, the triangle edges are implicitly defined by the coordinates of the pixels. If you recall, our filter is designed for spherical geometry images and not simply geometry images. Spherical geometry images are also geometry images, so they have all of the properties presented in the previous slide. However, They are a special type of geometry image obtained from a spherical parametrization. There are multiple ways of generating geometry images, and the spherical parametrization is one of them. As an example, consider the following mesh. In order to obtain a spherical geometry image that represents this mesh, the first step is to parametrize it to a sphere. Next, the sphere is parametrized to an octahedron. Finally, the spherical geometry image is obtained from this octahedron. The usage of spherical geometry images allows our filter to always use the same filtering paths, regardless of the mesh it is filtering. Please refer to the paper for more details. Now let's understand how our filter works. Our filter is responsible for the step marked with a question mark in the illustration. In other words, its input is a spherical geometry image and its output is another spherical geometry image, now filtered. With that in mind, some questions arise. Where and in which direction do we begin filtering the spherical geometry image? How do we continue the filtering when we reach the image border? When do we stop filtering? How to calculate the domain transforms? And finally, how to preserve the curvatures? Let's start by defining the input parameters of our filter. Besides the spherical geometry image, our filter receives three user-defined parameters. The first one is a spatial factor. This parameter controls the filter's spatial spread. Higher values lead to higher intensity mesh smoothing. Next, we have the range factor. This parameter controls the curvature preserving threshold. Lower values lead to greater curvature preservation. Lastly, we have the number of iterations. It can be used to control the trade-off between computation time and filtering quality. Now let's see where and in which direction we shall filter the image. For that, the main idea is that we want to filter all vertices equally, but at the same time, the filtering paths that we choose over the geometry image should result in smooth and continuous paths when applied on the mesh surface. In order to achieve that, our filter is divided in four separate subfilters, the subfilters H, V, C, and U. You can see here a visual representation of the subfilters. Each subfilter is responsible for filtering a set of lines and columns of the image. Let's take a look at how our filter preserves the curvature of the original mesh. For that, we have some pre-steps that need to be performed before the filtering begins. First, we compute the normal of all vertices of the spherical geometry image using Gourod's method. Then, we store the normals in a buffer, and finally, we calculate the domain transform of each pixel based on that buffer. The domain transform for our filter is given by this equation. Note that the domain transform depends on the normal of the vertex associated with each pixel of the geometry image. This is what guarantees the curvature preservation. Also note that this is not the original domain transform equation defined by the domain transform filter. It was adapted for the purposes of our filter. The domain transform shown in the previous slide works fine for most meshes, but there is still a problem when dealing with noisy meshes. Noisy meshes tend to mutate the normals of the original mesh, which will affect the computed curvature. See on the left a visual representation of the curvature of a mesh with noise. To solve this problem, the normal buffer is always smoothed before the curvatures are calculated. See on the right how the curvature information is recovered after the smoothing. There is still something that was not discussed when the four subfilters were presented, and that is the initial conditions. A spherical geometry image represents a periodic structure. For this reason, there is a circular dependency between pixels of the same filtering path, as shown in the image. To solve this problem, our filter performs a first pass with a zero boundary condition, followed by an extra correction step for enforcing a periodic boundary condition. More details are presented in our paper. Now let's talk about how the pixels are filtered during the execution of each subfilter. Just like the domain transform filter, our filter is a recursive filter. However, different from a traditional recursive filter, the feedback coefficients are adjusted according to the domain transform, since they must depend on the mesh's curvature. This is the recursive equation that we use. Note that R depends on the domain transform. We call R the adjusted feedback coefficient, since it will change for every pixel. On the other hand, A is constant for each iteration, and we keep calling it the feedback coefficient. The feedback coefficient A, shown in the previous slide, is computed from the standard deviation sigma. However, since our filter has several iterations, the standard deviation varies for each iteration. Therefore, the feedback coefficient depends on the current iteration as well. This is how we define the feedback coefficient. Note that it depends on the standard deviation, and this is how the standard deviation for each iteration I is computed. In this equation, n is the total number of iterations, which is defined by the user. Now, finally, let's take a look at the complete filtering algorithm, using all the knowledge presented before. First, we begin by computing the feedback coefficient of each filter iteration, using the equations that we just showed. Then, we compute the normal buffer using Gourod's method. We smooth the normal buffer, and then we compute the domain transforms from the now smoothed normal buffer. These were all the pre-processing steps. Now we start the iterations. For each iteration, we first apply the subfilter H, and then we correct the periodic boundary. Then we apply the subfilter C, and again we correct the results. Similarly, we apply the subfilter V and correct the results. And we apply the subfilter U and correct the results. Now we present some results. We start by showing a noisy mesh filtered with our filter. To the right, you can see what happens when the mesh is filtered by a conventional smoothing filter that does not consider curvature information. In the middle, we show the result obtained from our filter. Note how the curvature was better preserved, and at the same time, the noise was removed. We also show an example of removing noise from a mesh obtained from scanning. This is the original mesh, and this is the result after being filtered by our filter. The total filtering time was less than 1 second for about 1 million vertices. You can see in this amplified image how the noise was successfully removed by our filter. You can also see on the top that the important curvatures were preserved, as expected. Our filter was compared with other works. We used 4 meshes for the comparison, whose details are shown in this table. Our filter was compared with 4 other filters: the bilateral mesh denoising, the non-iterative feature preserving mesh smoothing, the bilateral normal filtering, and the guided mesh normal filtering. In the paper, we also provided comparisons with 2 other filters, the Taubin's lambda smoothing and the Laplacian smoothing with cotangent weights. This table shows the total computation time of each filter. For each mesh, we generated 3 different filtering results based on 3 different configurations: the fast, the medium, and the high quality configurations. Note that our filter is the fastest one in all scenarios. It is important to notice that the listed computation times do not include the generation of the spherical geometry image, which takes time. As shown in this image, the conversion of the mesh to the spherical geometry image is slow and is not covered by our filter. Our filter acts on the already available spherical geometry image and generates another spherical geometry image. Therefore, our filter is very fast if the mesh is already a spherical geometry image. Note that the conversion needs to happen only once. After that, it can be filtered as many times as necessary. Also note that rendering a spherical geometry image is a trivial and quick step, so it is feasible to store meshes in this format in real applications. We also show here other metrics, such as mesh smoothness and Hausdorff distance. Our filter presented good results for all of them. Please see the paper for a detailed quantitative analysis. We conclude the presentation by summarizing our contributions. We have extended the domain transform filter to make it applicable to spherical geometry images. This is the first demonstration of a domain transform based filter applied to the problem of polygonal mesh filtering. We adapted the domain transformation for preserving important curvatures. Our filter proved capable of filtering spherical geometry images, keeping its important curvatures. And finally, when the polygonal mesh is already a spherical geometry image, the filter is very fast, providing results in linear time. As future works, we can improve the filter convergence and the quality of the mesh triangles. Our filter can also be parallelized, which would decrease the execution time even more. This work was sponsored by CAPES and CNPq Brazil. Special thanks to the Institute of Informatics of the Federal University of Rio Grande do Sul and to the anonymous reviewers that helped to improve this work.